I think I saw Kainoob in the goalie position, and Hungry Boy will be playing midfield.
Crazy. So a little bit of a role swap coming on across here, and the draft's looking interesting as well. I see an Octavia coming on through here for the side of Demons Ra. The Mako and the Juliet going to round out that comp. And meanwhile, it's going to be Kazan, Asher, and Juno here for the side of Return to Form. And yeah, it does look like Hungry Boy going to be the one piloting that Octavia. Kainoob going to be the one piloting the Mako. So going to be a change up for the reigning champs. Let's see how they're going to be able to do first game of the day.
Yeah, starting off, we have another rapid-fire start for one of these games here as Hook resets, picking up the Juno, same with how Grimella had picked it up in the previous match on the Atlas Lab. And a map that we don't see quite as big, Gates of Obscura, starting off with the Chrono Boost, which kind of opted in for Hungry Boy taking the Octavia pick. Something that is strong, but you don't see as often unless there is a viable awakening for it. And it also adds in this extra element to the draft where if you know the opponent has a good Octavia player, you are now kind of forced to pick or ban around it, or if you just feel like you know how to handle it, you'll let it through. But even then, the Octavia is one of these weird characters that you just play around a little bit different. But as I say that, a good pass through the portal, Hook resets, gets it over to Leo Leon. The crooked leverage into the strike from Kazan, starting off point number 1, going over to Return to Form.
Nicely done by Leo there to be able to poke it on through. Leo on his... is this his 4th new team in 4 seasons of North American Strikers League? I think it might be.
He's been with Light in Season 1. Season 2, I think it was Core Overflow. Then Season 3, was it also Core Overflow again?
I don't think... Was he on Core Overflow in Season 2? I thought... Maybe he was. Maybe he was. In which case, forget what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not entirely positive. But then Season 4 was Lob City. As a fellow member of Lobster City,
Yes.
I can represent. And then now Return to Form. Leo Leon is someone who always... I can tell you some back knowledge here, or some hidden knowledge. He's someone that you'll never see playing in solo queue, but will play 10 hours of scrims a week. So you kind of never see much of him when you're thinking about like participating in the community as much, but he is never really out of form. This guy is always just a beast, always grinding, always playing. He just doesn't like the solo queue grind as much.
Yeah, he's a really solid brawler player. Definitely always been very highly ranked in that role, regardless of how well his individual teams are doing. I see Liari in chat saying that he was on 2 iterations of Core Overflow, so I'm going to assume that you're right there, Mystic. But definitely been a bit of a journeyman in recent seasons, and has found a lot of success in the promotion tournaments, maybe a little bit less in the regular seasons themselves. But let's see if he can change that around on this Return to Form team. Already doing a solid job up against Demons Ra, although they did just get their first goal just a couple seconds ago. Leo comes in with another KO here. Now going to have the numbers advantage here for the side of Return to Form. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Hungry Boy already dropping the beat up in the face of Mafinkui, but not going to be able to actually push it on through, and not going to be able to take even a single barrier here on Gates of Obscura. Little awkward triangle shapes, sometimes making it a bit difficult to be able to find them, and this time will be no exception. Snake trying to make his way over there again. It's deflected away by Muffin, though. Will not let any of these through, and continues to get the successful clears off time and time again.
Yeah, and good offense so far. I mean, the amount of, I should say, defense coming out from the Asher. Mafinkui, known for his Rasmus and his Finny, bringing out the Asher this week, and is someone that I actually want to say that I'm happy to see in the NASL League. He's been a regular pick here, but just as a substitute. Now finally getting his chance here as a starter on his own team. Holding it down just fine so far.
Oh.
Both barriers dropped. Going to get a KO through the portal as Leo Leon makes his appearance into the afterlife, and then a nice shot from Hungry Boy, sending us to a 2-1 lead for Demons Ra.
Demons still managing to find these points. Took them a long time to get out of the barriers, but once they do, they close out in short order. And now going to look to reset and run it back here in point number 4 trying to close out this first set. Snake getting in there with the Flame Flurry. Not going to be able to push it past Muffin, though. This Asher goalie doing a very good job of being able to respond to the different angles that Snake can attempt to take on the Julie, and both barriers now going to fall down. Leo and Hook Reset successfully able to find themselves the angles that they were looking for through the portal yet again, but Snake not quite able to receive. Hook gets pushed through as well, but able to stay alive that whole way through and push it through for a goal. 2-2 now. Turn to form finds the goal again.
Yeah, Hook Reset's doing a good job of not getting KO'd there by Snake, who went in for the dash punch combo, but rather than being KO'd, was sent through the portal here, and then managed to find the point. And then especially on top of the fact that it's a rapid fire start, has that offensive pressure that can just help Leo shove it in, gets those rebounds, and he can play from a safer position. He does not have to put himself in a spot where he can get dash punched by Snake here, who ended up using his entire kit. Leo Leon taking the brunt of all the damage there. Energy Burst coming out. Energy Burst being traded. Second barrier being... Oh, actually spoke too soon. Who lines up perfectly. The perfect parallel line sliding along the second barrier. But we have nearly all the members of Demon's Raw looking low. They do manage to find the barrier. Leo Leon is staggered. Everyone is so low right now. Both brawlers on each side and be KO'd. Stake the first one up back to full nearly as Hungry Boy trying to just keep the ball up as much as he can to give Snake an opportunity to score. The Octavia secondary being dropped as well as, or being used and dropped as quickly as it came up here. Just trying to prevent the life from going away as Leo Leon using some portal play here, trying to take advantage of maybe a little bit more familiarity on Gates of Obscura than some of the other teams, especially Demon's Raw, who have a substitute. But Snake not letting it out as the clear going down from Muffin Koei ends up being caught over by Snake, who gets it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, great position there from Snake, able to chase it down, coming through the portal the whole way through, meets up with it just in the nick of time to be able to shove it through for the goal. And now going to be a first pick to the Octavia. That's usually what you want. And Cast to last, coming on through there alongside the Chrono Boost.
Yeah, you have the perfect pickup here for Hungry Boy as he locks in both the Cast and Chrono, and now at this point just wants survivability to keep himself alive as he puts on the offensive pressure. The secondary is going to last so long at this point. He has plenty of time to keep it up, and although he is a substitute, I feel like Demon's Raw are plenty skilled enough to know how to play around the Octavia, even though we don't really see it much being picked up at all in their own playstyle.
Yep, doing a solid job with it, and it's just so forgiving now that you have two different ways to extend that duration. You really can do a lot to craft yourself a scenario where you're going to be able to keep that one running, and you can already see it here with the beat drops constantly coming on across, and really doing a great job of being able to find that movement speed, be everywhere on the map at once, and make passing over to Snake for a potential score a very easy task. Already has access to the flip, trying to pass it over to Snake, gets disrupted there by Hook Resets back on through the portal. Beat drop comes on through, trying to bully Leo off of the play, and Snake now finding himself with a one-on-one. Barrier going to come on through to try to block it, but Snake ready on the attempted deflection, sends it back through for the goal.
Yeah, the lingering hitbox of the punch manages to catch the clear from Muffin Koei, which is very surprising. I thought that he cleared it just far enough to the left, but Julie doing what Julie does has those lasting hitboxes that allows you to kind of catch those stray cores if it manages to go in its path here. A good energy burst to get the clear, isn't able to get a barrier, sending it back down into the portal, gives it over to Snake, uses the energy burst, lines it up, gets the dash plunge, gets the barrier. Muffin Koei looking low, does not have any energy to elusive an attempt here from Julie, has to preemptively use the primary there to push Snake away. And we're looking for a quick point number 2 here as Octavia pops the secondary, which for at least the one decent thing for return to form is Octavia does not have the secondary available at kickoff.
Definitely. So, going to be 2-0 in set number 2 here for Demon's Raw, really finding their groove off the back of a very favorable draft on the Octavia in particular. Just so much easier for Hungry Boy to be able to navigate this game now from this position. Does end up dropping it there. Now very low on stagger, going to be staggered and going to get taken out of the play for a little while. But Kainoob just moving on to the offense, goes in for the flip, sets up for Snake to be able to take that barrier. And now looking for the second one. Hook not quite able to clear it out, but will be able to hold on to the barrier regardless. Snake back passing, getting it back into his hands off the back of Hungry Boy. Hungry Boy coming on through here, now has access to the flow state as well. Dropping the base, pushing away the remaining members of the team. Gets the flip, can't get the shot off though, and will not be able to push it into the goal. But the goal is now open and available for Demon's Raw whenever they're able to set up this play. They do lose their Octavia, and they will be down a member now for the next couple of seconds. Leo trying to close out this point. Hook waiting on the top side. Blabo bounce, puts it into the perfect position, and claims the goal for Hook resets.
Showing that Juno proficiency while in the middle of the jump, make sure to strike it down so that the blob will instantly send the core rather than getting stuck and using the AI to shoot it. And all these small things is what allowed Hook resets to get that point there. The flow state coming out quick here as the chrono cast is available for Hungry Boy. You can see him following along, just trying to make sure the core stays up, trying to ramp up that speed as much as possible. Getting a KO, Snake finds onto Hook resets there, and now Hungry Boy doing his best once again to try to get the last of the core. Isn't able to manage to keep it up. At least some relieving points there for return to form as Hook resets manages to get his way back. Leo Leon finds the barrier, using elusive, but Snake in prime position here to try to take a barrier shot is not able to find it. Does not have any abilities up either, but we do manage to get an attempt. Energy burst being used, but no abilities to follow it up, and Asher can do just fine against something like that.
Knocked away yet again. Hungry Boy trying to get the core back over to Snake, but this last barrier has been very tough for them to break through. Mafinkui doing a great job of hanging on to it, knocks it away again. The base drop expended out of Hungry Boy, accomplishing basically nothing. And again, Leo is the one who's set up with more attempts on towards this remaining barrier. Kainoob, though, doing a similar job of being able to just hold this one down for a very long time. These very thin front edges, tough to get past. Hungry Boy actually kind of does it by accident there, I think, unless that was a shot from Leo. But there's going to be the flip coming out across from Kainoob, trying to clear things back out. Hook resets already in position. Snake still can't get himself the dash punch. Kainoob going to have to clear it back up towards the top side, sent away from the perfect pitch. Hungry Boy waiting around on the opposite side, going to be able to take out one of those blobos, but it's Leo! Crooked leveraging it back in, poking it in towards the bottom and taking it to 2-2.
Yeah, Kainoob unfortunately sending it right back into Leo, thinking that he had enough time or enough power to shoot it through him. But Leo, with a quick reaction there, is managing to find the strike, and the Kazan close form. The Kazan close form strike is something that still amazes everyone to this day with how fast it can send the core. But a good start, bringing it over to 2-2 here for return to form, managing to get an opportunity to bring a set 1 tie over for them, and a KO quick onto Snake, one of the core members of Demon's Raw, taken out. The Asher ultimate coming through, the airship landing isn't enough to actually even get a single barrier here, but a second attempt onto the net. We managed to find one, kind of trying to protect the second one, does a good job. Drum and bass coming through, everyone's going onto the offense. Hungry Boy and Snake in position, dash comes out, isn't enough. Mafinkui doing a phenomenal job of holding things down, as he does not let the offensive pressure of Demon's Raw stumble him in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely, another flip coming out across, still not able to find its way on towards that barrier. And this continues to be a thorn in the side of Demon's Raw. They were doing so well for the first couple of points of this set, but have just lost control of it, and it slides on through. Kainoob does not use the energy burst in time, and that's going to be tied up at 1 set apiece. Return to form, find themselves a foothold.
I just saw Leo Leon do the most diabolical portal plays for the last 15 seconds of that point. In and out, knowing exactly where the core was going to go, and managing to confuse everyone on Demon's Raw there until that point was scored. But taking a look at the draft here, we have a Deadeye going over to Hook resets. He's opting in for the damage. They have a lot of damage already, and this is really going to help them secure some more KOs. Perfect form going over to Kazan, who has such low cooldowns, and when you have 2 forms, you have that many more abilities to even reduce. So something to keep in mind here, but I would say in terms of the draft, you are really happy if you're returned to form. Snake managing to pick up 1 spark here, knowing that the game is going to go on for at least 1 more set minimum. So just happy knowing that he has an opportunity, or what a quick point, 9 seconds.
Well, where was that for the last 2 points, guys? It's Demon's Raw, not
upset.
quite going to be able to.
He is upset. He's like, that's enough. 1 set is all you get.
Yeah, all right. And that's going to be a quick point over to Demon's Rod. Let's see if they can keep that up, as it's going to be an equally aggressive play coming through from Return to Form. They take both barriers in one swift motion, and Leo, the quick poke there, not quite able to send it through, not letting it out. Snake's coming on up towards the top side on his own, looking to see if he can push it in. One barrier falls. Hungry Boy is so fast. Leo has the crooked leverage, going to be able to take it back into his hands. Hungry Boy clears it back out. The Blabo nearly with the shot, but Hook Resets couldn't get the angle to be able to sneak it past Kainoob. The flip is still available, but Kainoob, again, cannot get it off in time. It's 1-1.
Use Energy Burst. Very surprising that Leo Leon actually managed to get a proper shot off while being in the middle of the Juliet ultimate, and I think that's kind of what the reaction was for Kainoob. He wasn't expecting Leo to be able to shoot from that position, but a good recognition from Leo, who also plays Julie just as fine, knowing that he has enough time before the hit stun actually comes through and only the light hits were affecting him.
Now one barrier going to fall there for Snake. Kainoob trying to hold on to it here, going to be able to knock it down towards the side, knocks away. Hook resets, it gets the ensnare drums on a cross to stall out what they're going for. Snake waiting to receive it through the portal there. It was a good idea, but it didn't quite get them into position to actually be able to take it. It's a pass down. Snake with the no-look pass to himself, trying to get it into position here to be able to move on through and get on towards that barrier, but not quite able to piece it all together. Base drop out of Hungry Boy, finds what he was looking for, opens up the goal for the side of Demon's Raw, and Hungry Boy is trying to guide it in onto the opposite side. He's in the flow state, he's got the movement speed, he's got the core flip, it gets deflected away by Hook Resets, back through the portal. Hungry Boy chasing after it though, he is so fast still as the flow state keeps on grooving, looking to push it on forward, but Kainoob loses the second barrier. Goal is now open, and with no energy burst available, going to be tough to defend. Drum and Bass going to be able to clear it back out towards the top side. Snake with a big dash punch gets it past Moff and Kui. No chance to use the energy burst.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what that interaction was with the Asher, but the Asher secondary did not interrupt Snake's dash, and he managed to continue his dash after getting hit back and then still use the punch. I don't think Muffin Curry was expecting that interaction. I don't think any of us were. But Snake managing to get the point, bring things up to a 2-1 lead. Muffin Curry with a good flip there, manages to protect both barriers. Hungry Boy with the base drop coming in, getting a KO onto Leo Leon, who will not be present for the next 6 seconds, as Snake looking low, but has enough opportunity here to take a shot with an energy burst. Isn't able to get it, but the offensive pressure is not letting up. A good catch from Hook Resets protects that barrier right at the tip of it. And Leo Leon is back trying to make an attempt onto Snake's life here. One barrier drop so far. Abilities used by Juliet. Nothing for the troubles just yet. But Hungry Boy, you can see he's waiting to use that energy burst until he's closer to the net, until he's ready to pop that barrier. Muffin Cody unable to do anything about that. Good use of the energy burst over by Hungry Boy. Ultimate coming through, passes over to Hook Resets. Not where you want to send it. But offense is not stopping yet, as Return to Form still need one more point if they want to tie things up in the set.
Yeah, nice use of the base drop, getting the dribble off the bottom there from Hungry Boy, putting it back into Snake's hands, finally! And Demon's Raw will close out set number 2. One more set win for them, and Demon's Raw will take the lead in the series and get us coming into game at number 2. Them heavily favored. It's first pick over to the Octavia yet again, and
so what you're looking for here, Gordo, is either Stagger Swagger or Fight or Flight. And then if you're the Asher, I would take the Unstoppable personally. It's a really good pickup against Juliet. Opting in to deny Julie from KO power, but I would honestly prefer the Unstoppable. If you've played against Unstoppable Asher goalie, you know that that thing is an impossible wall to get through. So that is my personal preference there, but we'll see how the teams end up playing it out. Team player going over to Hook Resets, who does a phenomenal job of utilizing the amount of space here and passing lanes over to Leo Leon, and then Kainoob ended up with the Stagger Swagger.
Yeah, we'll see how that Unstoppable continues to work out. You would hope to see some of these sonic booms coming out of the Octavia, maybe to try to clear that one away on cooldown where possible, but it's definitely going to be a tough ask. Snake able to sneak on through there, finds one of the barriers, passed on through the portal. Hungry Boy did lose the flow state, and Leo Leon looking to be able to finish off the job here. Snake brawling on the top. Hungry Boy just trying to evade Leo. In the meantime, Snake going to be able to find the dribble, tries to push it forward. Mafenkoi going to be able to deflect it away again. And Leo finds that second barrier. Snake resetting for the same play. And Muffin again with a really nice clear. Hungry Boy already so low on stagger, getting chucked around by hook resets and Leo Leon. Tough to be able to help out on the defense, but will finally be able to clear it back away. Leo going to be able to get him taken out on the bottom. And now it's going to be just Snake trying to hang on to the offense, but nearly going to be staggered himself. And Snare Drums buys a little bit of extra time from Kainoob, and it's another KO to Leo as he looks to close out the point. Hungry Boy has respawned, is helping out to try to hang on to this point for longer. Base drop comes on through, buying time for the respawn, deflected away yet again by the strike shot, and Snake is back on the board. Kainoob able to hang on with help from Hungry Boy.
Hook resets sent one of those cores too fast to Leo Leon. He was not ready for it. The team player coming in overtime, but now we have the core speed in the advantage of return to form. I think Leo has an idea of how fast his core is going to go if Hook manages to try that one more time here. But kind of doing a great job on defense this time around. The strike shots coming through just fine, holding things down on this open net here. Sends it through the portal, isn't able to get it. Goes over to Leo Leon, redirects it, just nudging it slightly onto that top corner there as Leo close form Kazan manages to secure the point here, giving a little bit of breath back into return to form as they try to find their way into set number 5.
Yep, nice early point here for return to form, trying to restabilize themselves in their series here. And in this game number 1, see if they're going to be able to keep that form going. It has been a lot more difficult for them to get through Mafenkoi post Unstoppable, and they have been losing members in a lot of these engagements. Look at that damage coming on across. Energy bursts across the board, none of them landing onto the core, and health bars still going to end up low for Demon's RAHH. Leo trying to force it through and get on towards this second barrier. Another dash punch attempt from Snake is fended off by Mafenkoi. Both of the barriers fall, but Kainoob gonna have to sneak this one past the offense of return to form to be able to hang on. Gets it through the portal. Snake approaching on the bottom side, goes in for the dash punch. Not gonna be able to get it onto the core though. Hook resets using the blobos, trying to keep it cleared out. Leo back and forth through the portals, goes in for the flip from Kainoob as well, trying to force it through. Trying to rocket it into the goal, but not going to be fast enough. And Mafenkoi going to be able to send it back away, but it's a KO found onto Leo. It's a flip out of Hook resets to hang on for longer. Dash punch off the top, ricochets it down to Hungry Boy. Snake with no resources left to be able to take that shot. Path Splitter holds onto the core for longer as Leo is able to respawn in time to be able to hang on. Kainoob, it gets stuck on the wrong side of the drum and bass, and it's 2-0 to return to form.
We saw this happen with You Already Lose in the previous match. Again, in that exact position, I'm pretty sure too. Or in the exact spot of the map here. But these things happen. It was a good hold over by Kainoob for that long, and a good hold by Mafenkoi as he waited for his teammates to come back here. And now 2-0 lead. They have some breathing room to work with here, trying to get it over to set number 5 here. Energy burst being traded. Hook resets really low. Barriers dropped. Hungry Boy has the flow state up, needs to get a touch onto this. Snake finding the KO onto Hook resets, have the man advantage, have the portal plays going on. Unstoppable coming through, not allowing Snake to slow down there. Actually manages to keep that play alive as he passes down to Hungry Boy, who gets it in with the primary.
Yeah, just some basic passing there. Really nicely done by Snake and Hungry Boy. Getting Boffin into an unwinnable position and taking full advantage there, but going to really need to be able to replicate that recipe here as they have been struggling to actually get their offense going so far in set number 4 after that last draft. Hungry Boy coming in there with the base drop, still not going to be able to find these KOs. Snake has been having similar difficulties. It was only after they were finally able to take down Leo that they were able to get some ground back in that previous point, and now they're starting to lose barriers once again. Leo and Hook resets have been combining really effectively on this offense to be able to slowly pick apart Kainoob's defense. We'll be able to take one of the barriers up here on the top side. Snake finds the second one, opening the goal. A huge step for them. Strike shot gets the core back into position. Hungry Boy so fast in the flow state, going to take full control, pushing it in towards the bottom. A brawl between Snake and Hook resets will result in Snake blowing the energy burst, but Hungry Boy still hanging on for now. Does have access to the core flip, as does Kainoob. Neither one wants to expend it quite yet. Hungry Boy did use it there. There's going to be that beat drop again, trying to push away any defenders and open up a route to actually be able to find the goal. Hungry Boy racing across the map, finally going to lose the flow state, but Snake gets a hold of it in time. Dash punch through, and point number 5, Demon's Raw still looking to close out the game number 1 here.
Hungry Boy trying his best to catch up to the core, but it was going so fast. Even with all the speed in the world, wasn't able to get it. But Snake, when the core came to him, he knew exactly what to do. The Juliet special coming in, scoring onto the Asher there. One barrier dropped, getting close to an energy burst of himself. Snake looking for an opportunity to get the second one, but Hook Resets doing a good job of keeping the core up, trying to get it over to Leo. The flow state popped once again for Hungry Boy. Almost finds a KO, but it's a path splitter that manages to get it, and that is Hungry Boy gone. Some more seconds left until we get him back up for this offensive attempt, and I think Leon was trying to go for some damage onto Kainoob there. Manages to get one barrier, but loses his life for it. Even picked up the health orb on the enemy goalie side, but wasn't able to secure himself enough stagger to keep himself alive here, as Muffin Kobe is using all and every ability onto Snake as much as possible to try to pressure him off himself. Snake looking low, but Muffin Kobe cannot give up the position here onto the barrier to go deny that orb. A good crooked leverage from Leo manages to get that barrier, and now they're looking for an offensive attempt to get into set 5.
Hungry Boy might be a little bit too fast for his own good here. Looks like he's a little uncomfortable with the speed. He's missing some strikes from time to time. He's faintly out of position, just not sure where he's going to be at any given moment. Hopefully he can make that adaptation quick here, as he's got an opportunity to close on out the game right here, right now, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But the game goes on. Return to form. Find the shot from Leo Leon, and will take us to set number 5.
Oh, the game is not over yet. We're going into set number 5 here and taking a look at what the draft has available for us. Honestly, a lot to take up here. I think you take the Catalyst if you're on the Asher. You've been taking a lot of pressure under your net, and I think the Catalyst will help quite a bit here. Opting in for the stacks on stacks, I don't even think that's worth it. Hungry Boy has all the speed in the world. I don't think it matters at this point if you give him stacks or not.
It'd be so funny, though.
But exactly what you were saying before, there is a such thing as too much speed when your character just goes too fast. It's almost like cranking up the sensitivity on like an FPS game, if you know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes you just won't be able to control your character, and compounded that with a 2 Dash Awakening Makos slamming the bass and drum, you're gonna be going quite fast.
Definitely here, and the fact that it's variable probably making the problem a little bit worse here. I mean, it's a good problem to have, right? This is first world problems for old Hungry Boy here, as he's faster than anybody else on the map by quite a large margin. And with the side of Leo already taken off the map, they still can't form any kind of defense here. Really good job of return to form, just holding on the whole way through. And they have a shot at this game number 1 now, despite how silly Hungry Boy's build has really gotten. Hungry Boy is gone. He's taken off the map, and it's a power play for return to form now. Snake already in the stagger, going to be able to sneak on through the portal, try to find himself a little bit of extra time to be bought. Kainoob going to lose his second barrier. Hungry Boy is finally respawned. Snake takes the barrier on the opposite side, but he's KO'd as well. Leo Leon takes him off the map and keeps that power play going. 5 seconds to go. Hungry Boy going to drop the base drop, trying to hold on with all this movement speed, trying to get some aggression going on towards that barrier, and finds its way in. Snake respawns as well. Hungry Boy is able to catch the pass as it's coming back in towards Kainoob, sends it back on through, loses the flow state. There's going to be a core flip coming out across, and Snake is able to find the shot from midfield.
The core is going so fast. The people are going so fast. It is so hard. When you have an open net here as Asher goalie, it is really tough to keep up with this. At least the stacks on stacks are helping a little bit with walking around, but he has no size. So his Asher is at their strongest when they have a barrier up to defend here. A good job of clearing it out there, not allowing both barriers to drop, but the flow state keeping Hungry Boy as fast as possible here. Base drop coming down. Not able to get anything off of it really, but the flow state still manages to keep itself up for a little bit longer. Leo Leon finding the bounce off the top, is able to get it. Hungry Boy looking low, walks into the path splitter 2 times in a row, but is not punished for it until I say exactly that. Hook resets, finding the slime shot onto him. Blabo doing its thing as Snake pops the elusive, or pops the energy burst. Leo Leon in front of the net, trying to get anything going here as resources are being used, passes are happening, portal plays are going through. Muffin Kobe with a great energy burst into a passive, shoots it through. A slow-moving core, the slowest we've seen in the last 20 minutes, manages to find its way into the net.
Beautiful placement there on that shot, fighting with Snake. to try to get it cleared out of there and finds it all the way through the portal for the goal. KO, though, early for Snake here, gives the power play back over to the side of the Demon's Raw, and they do have themselves a best of 3 to be able to determine who wins this game at number 1. So close on a knife's edge here, no pun intended. With that pickup, Evan come through for Hungry Boy in this last draft. Snake going to be able to force it in and get themselves onto that barrier. Hungry Boy sends it back on up. Snakes takes the second barrier, and it's an open goal for Demon's Raw. Sent back through the portal. Kai Noob going to send that one back right the way it came. But the core goes into the ensnare drums and going to be held there for just a little bit longer. Hungry Boy advancing forward. Flip comes through from Snake, and Hungry Boy snaps it through. It's going to be 2-1.
2-1. Pancakes reset for Muffin Koei. He will not have any of that speed to work with unless they manage to prolong this point as long as possible and get themselves into a point number 5 here. But Hungry Boy has the ultimate available, uses it, is able to find one. Snake trying to set up the second one. Energy burst being used, unable to find it. Muffin Koei down to half health, has at least a little bit of elusive. If he needs to use it, Path Splitter comes out, tries to get it down. Path Splitter finds the KO. That's the 1-2 punch coming in, plus the Siege Machine getting the KO onto Snake. Hook resets, has the energy burst, is able to get a shot off. Leon layering their abilities really well there, but a good defense over by Demon's Raw manages to hold it down just a little bit longer as Hook resets, tries to find the shot off the top wall with the slime, and now we're going back into a little bit of neutral state. As I say that, Hungry Boy with the flow state, the quickest flow state pickup and loss that we've seen this entire game. Maybe a little bit of reprieve over for return to form, but as I say that, not looking good, Gordo.
Goal opened up, and Snake! Quick back pass into the goal. 3-1. Demon's Raw take game number 1 here in set number 5. It was closely fought by return to form, but Demon's Raw will take the lead in our second series of the day. An easy MVP there for Hungry Boy, who was racing across this map for so much of the game. Ends up topping that strikes or that redirects leaderboard, I'm sure. A little bit less than Muffin Koei, but very close. 3
more. But essentially the same, especially when you're on comparing it to the other forwards there. And I would love to see, like, I wish there was a little bit more stats we could see just for fun, that like max speed reached or or distance traveled, because at that point it would be really funny to see what Hungry Boy had accomplished. But even then, definitely deserving of that MVP, doing a great job just substituting in for Gumi, plus the role swap as well with Kai Noob onto the goalie, who by any means, Kai Noob is easily a NASL level goalie, right? So this is not something that we need to be worried about with Kai Noob on the role swap, but he is also one of the 2, if not the best midfielder in the entire game. So having him off of his like premium role does play into the team's overall strength.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any team in the league that you're willing to do that with, though, it's probably Demon's Raw. And Gumi already kind of plays like he's a second midfielder, and that de facto makes Kai Noob a bit of a second goalie. So they got some reps on there already, but I definitely agree. This is not, the optimal setup for Demon's Raw, but they do come away with that game 1 win. Now moving over to their own map selection in Atlas's lab for game number 2 as they look to sweep the series and move themselves up to 1-1. Certainly, we talked about this for Sad Boys. The same is true for Demon's Raw. They are not happy to start off NASL 0-1, given the pedigree that this team comes in with.
Yeah, but it's this time around, compared to our previous match with Sad Boys, Demon's Raw take the game number 1 here, and if they want to make it to a game number 3, it is Return to Form who has to climb up this hill. But Demon's Raw going into an Atlas Lab game where some of the things that we can expect is, like I said in the previous draft, or in the previous Atlas's Lab draft, this is the map where it kind of opens up a little bit more damage composition here. You can go for a lot of damage when taking barriers, using barriers layered on both the core and the enemy players. And on top of that, having access to that black hole to deal a little bit more additional damage helps in your favor. So depending on the starting awakening, we can take a look at that. Hungry Boy, known for his IME pick as well, is something that Kai Noob can go for on top of that in the goalie position. So one of those picks most likely going to be banned away unless something else more prominent gets locked in due to awakenings. But I'm expecting a little bit more damage focused pickup here with Kai Noob piloting the IME or Hungry Boy piloting the IME.
I think IME, a very likely pick to see come on through. I do think it was, well, we saw it banned in the Sad Boys series. We didn't really see the picks and bans for just this last game. So we'll see once the draft gets started if that IME is actually going to end up making its way through. Definitely would be a dangerous pick, though, if either team were to be able to snag it for themselves. I know Kai Noob has gotten some reps on the Naimi before whenever Gumi isn't hogging it to himself, so we'll see if he will be able to find his way onto that one, or if maybe it's going to be a pick that is a little bit more relevant for return to form as they look to see what they're going to be able to get their hands on and try to fight their way back into this series.
100% here. And some of the things that I'd be looking for from Return to Form is Muffin Koi did play extremely well on the Asher, but some of the more oppressiveness we've seen from him is on that Rasmus and Finny, and I'd like him to bring it out. He has a lot more offensive pressure, even on the Rasmus, who is a melee goalie. You just have the pendulum swing that can reach so far when you have it paired with the Pauldrons plus like a Size Awakening. Or on the Finny, of course, who just is a very high map accessing character who has high damage as well. But taking a look, we do have our starting awakenings here. Is going to be Unstoppable and Egoist. I expect both goalies to go Unstoppable, unless it is if it's like an IME goalie, then I can expect an Egoist. But for the most part, Unstoppable on goalies is extremely strong. And then I just expect the other four players to lock in Egoist unconditionally.
Yeah, Ego is definitely a very powerful starting awakening when you're able to get it. So let's see what the focus is going to be coming on through from these two teams, knowing that that's likely where the majority of these characters are going to end up starting off. Maybe an unstoppable for a goalie here or there, like you said, can be plenty powerful. Return to form going to be blue side for this draft, so they get their first ban and their first pick. See what they want to take on off the board here, be able to get themselves into a position to be able to take us to 3 games. Curious about what they banned in game number 1 might give us a little bit more insight as to what they're going to be prioritizing here. It could be that IME, like you said, could be. I mean, I wouldn't even blame them to take a look at the Asher. That Asher was so hard to break through in game number 1 if Demons Raw want to try to take it off the board.
Yeah, you can aim for that. On also, just another big pick could be the Hook Resets Judo. Era isn't as popular, but we did see the Era piloted to success just in the Sad Boys match. Hook Resets known for being that Era prodigy, but doing a great job on the Juno that game as well. Could mean that you shrink his character pool a little bit more. Might have to fall back onto the Estelle or maybe the Rune that he's been practicing a little bit. So you couldn't aim to lock down that midfield role or tighten it just a little bit. And then I feel like Leo is comfortable on any brawler here. You're gonna I expect to see him on either Zentaro or Kazan once again.
Yeah. So, looking around for the draft to get started and then going to find out just where the priorities are going to sit. Unstoppable with the changes. I mean, do you see an opportunity or any reason to really take it on any kind of midfield pick or anything? Maybe if you're in a more supportive position, you feel like you're at risk of getting taken off against something like double brawlers, or is it pretty much a goalie exclusive awakening now?
So if you are against something like an Aimee and a Luna, for example, those are
Mhm.
really good characters to pick Unstoppable into, because they have a long cooldown abilities that have high impact, and that's exactly what Unstoppable wants to prevent. So you have the Luna ultimate, the Aimee glitch pop, the Aimee cyber swipe. These are things that like Unstoppable just makes those characters function way less smoothly. But for example, let's say you're against a Vice or a Kai Barrage or a Zentaro, right? The slice and die is very easily able to break through. An X with the X Maximus doesn't really care about Unstoppable. So it really depends on what characters are being picked that can alter if you take Unstoppable or not. But for the most part, in terms of strength of Awakening, starting with as many Egoists as you can to increase your chance of landing that Egoist Catalyst combination, and then really take over the game is something that both teams are going to want to do.
Makes sense here. So, but maybe the draft going to have a little bit of impact on who's going to end up taking which starting awakening. As we're still waiting for these bans, but promise we will have them up here in just a few moments. All right, there's a bug. Okay, wait, we have different awakenings now. So after all that
Oh,
unstoppable talk,
okay. Well, a little bit of
uh,
insight into the Unstoppable matchup, regardless. History lesson with Mystic, if you may. But taking a look at what we have now, Stagger Swagger and Explosive Entrance. So this is pretty interesting as well, because we've had matchups in the past where Stagger Swagger was starting Awakening, and if you manage to not take Stagger Swagger in this matchup, you'll find out very quickly that you will be the focus of all the damage, and whoever the person who doesn't take Stagger Swagger is going to spend a lot of time KO'd, especially if they're a forward. You're gonna see the goalies take explosive entrance if it fits their kit just fine, because they're not usually going to be in the brunt of the damage for the most part. But if you are a forward, I'd highly recommend you actually opt in for Stagger Swagger over explosive entrance. Specifically, like Leo Leon on the Zentaro, I know he's gonna want to take explosive entrance, but my personal opinion is you take the, or sorry, yeah, that is Leo Leon on the Zentaro.
Or is it Leo Leon on the Kazan?
No, this is the Muffin Koi Kazan. Kazan goalie coming in. He's gonna go in for some size, the Stagger Swagger, some pauldrons, and then play into that.
All right, we got some spice coming in here, and meanwhile it's double midfielders for Demon's Ra in the Estelle and the Kai, with Atlas in the goal arc, unless it's one of those crazy midfield Atlases. I think that builds a bit, maybe a bit too spicy for game number 2, but we'll see. I mean, they are ahead, so they do have a little bit of selection over where they want to take things, and I can see we're already in queue, so we're going to race our way into things very, very quickly here. On to Atlas's lab for game number 2. Really getting those streaming hours up today, Mystic, with how long Series 1 was, and now getting on in here for game number 2, Series number 2, at 5:30 Eastern. That's classic North American Strikers League, baby.
Of course. Eastern time, the sun has set, the daylight savings has already kicked in. I'll be heading out to grab some buy one, get one free spicy chicken sandwich on National Chicken Day. I recommend you guys all go out to your local chicken stores and grab something juicy and delicious to celebrate on November 9th. Happy Arcane Day, everyone. Go watch Arcane Season 2.
I'm one episode in, so no spoilerinos yet, please. But
I haven't seen it yet. I'm so excited.
I liked the first one. I liked the first episode. It was good. So, the good things to come, I hope, on top of the chicken, which is new info to me, so I'm also going to take full advantage there. So we're already onto the field for game number 2. So far, it's going to be one barrier taken apiece. They're going to be able to sneak it past Hungry Boy here. A double banish from Hook resets. Nicely placed there. Nearly able to take it in for the goal. And they're not out of the woods yet. Hungry Boy still trying to defend. Leo Leon pushing it forward. Hook resets onto the other side, but still nobody can find their way quite past Kai Noob.
They're doing a good job. I love the Hook resets rune pickup here.
By the way, it is Brawler Atlas.
Brawler Atlas. Snake on the Atlas here, opting in for all the healing he can. Going in for the slick kicks plus the Stagger Swagger. I'm actually curious why. I think Atlas does a better job in the midfield position than he does in the brawler position, but we're going to see how Snake pilots it and if he can get success off of it. But Hook resets here. Now on the rune, which is something that I wanted to talk about, we saw the ban onto the Juno, which is one of the things I was predicting from before. Oh my goodness, what a KO from the core flip, just reaching the tiptoes of Snake there, managed to get KO'd. But the rune is always an interesting pickup here. I'm curious how well Hook can pilot, doing a good job so far, and also opting in for the midfield awakening or the starting gear with the magnetized souls. And another thing I want to mention is Leo Leon going in for the explosive entrance instead of the Stagger Swagger, which was another thing that I was a little bit hesitant on, because he's going to be really, really low all the time while every other member of the entire game is going to be healthy, and we see Leo being taken out. And this might be one of the things that ends up being their downfall, or at least a really negative point to their composition.
Absolutely. Nice block there from Snake, using the Expanse to be able to fend it back on off, but still not able to find his way into a position to actually be able to take the goal. And I mean, this is looking like it's probably going to be one of the more difficult aspects of this comp. Whoa! Look at that astral projection finding the KO for Snake, though. And we'll give a power play over to Demon's Ra. Banish away. Hungry Boy takes another piercing shot, and they still cannot get it past. Hook resets and Leo Leon. They're trying their best, but nothing will break through the defenses, and the respawn has come on across. It is so difficult for this Demon's Ra composition to actually close out points, and it's not looking like it's getting any easier.
Almost a phenomenal shot there by Leo, but props to Leo for an amazing job in the net there. Muffin Kobe unable to catch the core speed when it was going that fast with the flip in overtime, tying things up 1-1. So let's see how well the advantage can go with all these KOs coming out from Demon's Raw as well. Leo Leon finding himself low staggered relatively quickly here. And another advantage that you have for this map is on Atlas's lab. You can walk up to the middle and pop it yourself intentionally to proc your stagger swagger just to get some increase in movement speed here. And a great Oni's play by Leo Leon slows down the members of Demon's Raw, which allows that core to roll into the barrier here, open things up. But Snake not wasting a second as he tries to get the KO and succeeds in getting that KO onto Leo. A man down, 3v2. Demon's Raw finds the second point in this match.
Yeah, guides it on up and into the goal as well while he's at it. So it's 2-1. Now going to be in favor of Demon's Raw, and Snake doing a great job of using these close-range astral projections to really take folks off the map. The damage is insane, quite frankly. I mean, this may be why he's willing to play a little bit more of a brawler-centric build on this traditionally goalie character, taking down the second barrier while he's at it, and looking to close out set number 1 right here. Nearly gets it past, but Hook Reset's able to save it from deep behind the goal line. Not quite able to get it in there, and now Snake gonna take another one, another astral projection. Leo saves it with a beautiful Oni's blade, and Snake just dropping some emotes until Kainu can knock it in. 3-1, Demon's Raw.
I think Leo needs to explore Season 6 goalie because the way he's been holding it down in the net, although it ended up with an eventual loss of set 1, this Leo guy is the best brawler in the net that I have seen in quite some time.
Yeah, it does my heart so good to see all these great Zentaro players back playing Zentaro. Reminds me of Season 3. Feels like Season 3.
The good old days. And now, taking a look at the draft here, we have a Rapid Fire going over to the Kai. Always a great pickup. Prime time for Leo Leon. Hook resets, or sorry, Hungry Boy waiting to allow his Atlas to choose his pickings first, getting that missile prop on the Atlas, which is going to increase that KO and scoring potential by quite a bit. They don't really have a way to stop the Atlas shove with that astral projection here. And Hook resets, almost getting the one shot onto Snake. And one of the benefits here of playing Rune is your stagger is irrelevant because the Rune has a really strong push combination where you can double pillar and just KO someone through pure knockback.
Yeah, really, really good. And not as good as it maybe once was, but
very true. Still,
certainly a powerful tool if you're able to get that combo together, especially if you're able to get the right awakenings to make it work just a little bit better. And now another astral projection. KOs from forever away for Snake, and will create another power play for Demon's Raw as they look to take an early lead in set number 2. Snake going to be able to get it on pass, sends out the astral projection, doesn't quite find its way through. Kainu has to sprint back to get onto the defense here, sends it back into Hungry Boy, who does have access to the core flip as necessary, sends it, gets it blocked back away by Leo, and they're not done yet. They are trying to push it forward, but the opportunities just are not presenting themselves. There's going to be another piercing shot, sending it up. Snake trying to take a shot on goal. He can't get his hands on it either, and it's going to continue to be a beautiful block from Hook Resets, placing that anomaly right in front of the face of Kainoob and scoring the goal.
As a fellow Rune connoisseur, I love when I see Rune in my screen, and Hook Resets was actually talking and asking just a bunch of questions in general back in Coscord, trying to find out when he can bring out the Rune, what opportunities to look for to pick it. And I'm so happy that immediately, just from that conversation alone, he's already picking this character here, and we're seeing success come through as Leo Leon trying to do his best to heal up, manages to get out of the unstaggered state. But Snake, with that astral projection, is really, really deadly here. Isn't able to find it. Snake is actually looking low, but has the healing from the stagger swagger if he manages to stay afloat for a few more seconds here. But he is living. He uses the Atlas ult to survive just a little bit longer, manages to get unstaggered enough while his teammates are doing their job to keep the point alive. But as I say that, a good vanish comes through from Hook Resets, tries to get the secondary to catch the core, isn't able to get it. Kainu walking up, has to take the eject button back, doesn't use that core flip to get a shot on net. Leo Leon is still low, has some healing. Barrier dropped as both gold gates are completely wide open. Hook Resets looking for a shot on net. Rush comes through from Zentaro, isn't able to find it. Kainu walking up, looks for the shot with the energy burst, but Hook Resets, or sorry, Muffin Koei on the Kazan, might as well be a ranged goalie with how much reach he has with 2 size awakenings, and it is going back and forth.
Whoa, nearly getting it past Kainoob there is Leo, but Kainoob going to be able to deflect it away, send it back down towards the bottom. Hungry Boy nearly gets it with the Rose Warp, aims with that poor flip, but not quite going to be able to find it there. Backup coming on through from Snake, trying to res up Hungry Boy if he does end up getting taken down by Leo Leon on that last play. There's the eject button once again, getting Kainoob back into the goal arc just in time, and the piercing shot from Hungry Boy snags the core right where he needs it and takes it on in to tie it up at 1-1.
It actually did get caught by the crooked leverage. Muffin Koei managed to catch it, but Hungry Boy sniping it away from his clutches right after that. Hook Reset starting off the point with an anomaly to get that core to break the middle Atlas expanse. Both barriers dropped immediately as one is traded back. Leo Leon tries to go for an aggressive flip play, but the Kai Barrage there to help save it, and with the rapid fire, it'll be back up in just another second or two. And now we're going for another offensive play as we just stall out for a second here. But a great banish. No, but if it manages to hit into the Atlas, the gravity well there, it would have KO'd Snake. Manages to get KO'd eventually anyways here. And Hook Reset's doing his best to try to keep Hungry Boy staggered as long as possible. Gets the stagger state. One thing to remember is that the anomaly is a light hit until it fully forms. So it does not count for that hard hit stagger reset timer. But even then, gets the stagger, gets the KO, or does not get the KO, but gets the point with the help of Leo Leon.
Absolutely here, and now going to be a lead here in set number 2, going over to the side of Return to Form, but a barrier already taken here, showing how powerful this rune can be, especially Hook Resets has done a great job on these banishes, continues to take crucial members out of plays and set themselves up in a positions to potentially be able to close out points. Leo, a good Oni's blade there, nearly able to get it past Snake, but not going to quite get the opportunity to do so. There's going to be the flip coming through from Hook, and Leo intercepts it, sends it into the goal. 3-1 in set number 2. Return to Form, tie things up.
Taking the lead in this set, now tying things up 1-1. They did a good job of managing to live, and like I was talking a lot about Leo Leon not being able to perform without that stagger swagger, but even with the KOs coming out, they are managing to find success while he does have that stagger, and he's doing a great job of living. Team player coming through from Hook Resets. I love that pickup. The knives are from the Kai, and it's a great pick in general here on Atlas Lab, especially when the middle is always open. If you're constantly breaking it to proc your own stagger swagger. Denying the hot shot over from the Estelle, but speed going on to Hungry Boy, which is going to be something that you always love here as a midfield player. And then Leo getting the spark. Unfortunately, the spark of speed is good when you have additional sparks stacked on, but as a single spark, he doesn't do that much. You'd honestly prefer something else. Like he would have preferred a spark of resilience here instead. And Snake, keep in mind with the astral projection alongside the Deadeye is going to do a phenomenal amount of damage onto anyone that it touches.
Yeah, it really is here. There's the pass on up. Hungry Boy and Snake really trying to combine together here to get in on towards this barrier. Kainoob getting involved in the action as well. And Leo going to be the one who takes the most abuse for it at the end of the day. He's the one who's incredibly low on stagger. Gets staggered there again by Snake using that Cosmic Expanse. But still going to be able to hold things over on the right side of the map. And there's a nice piercing shot on a Hungry Boy, getting the hit stun on a Muffin Koei, and going to be able to find that second barrier. But there's another banish from Hook Resets, buying more time, taking more members out of the play. Snake stepping forward with access to the energy burst, going to be able to claim himself an orb. Going to look here to finish off Leo. Astral Projection not quite hitting square on like they wanted. Passes it down to Hungry Boy. Hungry Boy not going to be able to find its way into the goal, but they do manage to take the KO there on towards Leo. It's a power play available for Demon's Raw with the goal already opened on up, waiting on cooldowns. Hook Resets trying to take it back into an aggressive stance. There's going to be this Celestial Expanse, and there's going to be Astral Projection, KO and goal for Snake.
Lining things up, the piercing shot and the Astral Projection lining up perfectly to get the KO onto Muffin Koei. And we're seeing the strength of the Atlas Brawler. I can't even say he's a brawler with how far of a range he has on the Astral Projection here. Hook Resets, I do think that he's going a little bit too much for these KO attempts with the double pillar from midfield. If you're closer to the net, you have to recognize the range at which you have an effective KO option. If you're not able to one-shot with it, then I don't think it's worth it, because you need your pillars for core control and to apply that offensive pressure here. And even with a man down, we have Demon's Raw able to get both barriers, and now they have the man advantage going in for the point. Muffin Koei able to stall long enough here, but it's still another 3 seconds. Hook Resets forced to use that energy burst just to keep the play alive a little bit longer. but almost manages to get it with the piercing shot here. Barrage going into Leon Zentaro, down to half stagger, does not have the stagger swagger to heal him up, and he's being brought down quite low as he looks to opt in for that enemy orb, but is out of the play for the time being.
Now still looking to be able to close on out the point. The respawns have come on through, and they've yet to be able to close it out. Another nice setup with the Rose Warp into the Astral Projection. Flip from Hungry Boy, gets the Ricochet, and takes the point for Demons Ra. They're up 2-0 in set number 3. Looking to show that set number 2 does not mean anything, and that they are going to be in position to be able to close out this series.
Yeah, I really like that that anomaly from the secondary of Rune there to start it off. It kind of just forces them to go through a different lane here. Use that primary anomaly. I don't know if he actually had one or not, but that should have been a KO onto Snake if there was a pillar available to use there. Almost manages to get the second barrier, but Leon brought low again, manages to dodge the projection. Snake doesn't really have any more abilities. One of the downsides you have of Atlas Brawler is that the abilities are so long in cooldown that you cannot have a repeated offense easily. With the use of abilities, you kind of just have to rely on your strikes and passing to break that barrier, or pass it back into the Estelle, who uses the piercing shot to break through. But even then, we're finding success on the Atlas here, who is getting some good value out of his abilities here, both the ultimate, the secondary, and especially the Astral Projection.
Absolutely here, and that's what's going to end up making a big difference. Flips come on for both Snake and Muffin, and neither going to end up accomplishing too much. The core basically back where it started, as Hungry Boy sending it back on through, trying to get themselves set up for another offensive play, but Leo going to be able to snag that core, move it back over to the right, and take that second barrier for himself. Open goals now for both sides as Snake finds a barrier on the opposite. There's going to be Kainu clearing things back over and moving it down towards Hungry Boy. Rose Warp trying to put it in a position for Snake to be able to take the shot. Snagged away by Crooked Leverage. Muffin Kui hanging on for just a little bit longer. Flip comes through from Leo into the rush, not able to push it through. An Astral Projection from Snake takes it in for a 3-0 set to Demons Ra.
The Astral Projection is always so fun to watch as it guides the core in. Going into set number 4 here with an advantage. Demons Ra taking the last 2 sets in a row. And let's see what they managed to get here. Looking at what we have here, Unstoppable being taken away. I really like this because if Muffin Kawi got the Unstoppable, Astral Projection is just a singular hit, which means it is like the perfect ability that gets canceled out by Unstoppable, similar to how I was talking about with the Luna ultimate and the glitch pop and things like that. Is a long cooldown ability that has a single instance of damage. So perfect that Kainu takes it away to make sure that no one on return to form can take it and then stop the onslaught of the Astral Projection. Taking a look at everything else here, we got a Timeless Creator on the Rune, which is a really big pickup, but it only matters if you're able to lock it down into a corner and then keep shoving and then have the anomaly behind to help you kind of wall it down. Besides that, Catalyst over for Zentaro, which is always a great pickup because he has so many hits that he generates Awakening so fast, or Energy Burst so fast. Knife's Edge over for Hungry Boy for some more speed, and then Snake with even more range and damage coming onto his abilities through the Siege Machine.
Yeah, absolutely here, and now Snake taking it back on over, going to be able to open things up, going to be able to take down one. And going to have themselves a scoring opportunity here. Nicely done by Leo, though. Waiting out the timer coming on through. Going to be able to take the second barrier, but will his team be able to survive long enough? Down a member. Hook resets, comes back through, and the shots were not able to be manifested. Hungry Boy, though, piercing shot comes on across. Banish connects onto the orb. They're going to be able to clear it back on away. They are going to be able to hold on for just a little bit longer. Kainu falling back onto the defense. Leon going to be able to dash forward, looking for the shot on goal. Not going to be able to find it there. It is going to be executed by the piercing shot. Meanwhile, Kainu Giga Blast from midfield pushes it into the goal. It is 1-0 Demons Ra on potentially series point.
And starting off strong, but return to form still doing a good job. That point lasted quite a bit there until they managed to get the KO onto Leo and then get that shot onto net. But with the compounding awakenings being in the favor of Demons Ra, it's going to be harder and harder here. A KO found once again onto Leon, a character with one of the lowest staggers in the entire game. If you just take a look at their stagger pool, 1300 stagger compared to nearly everyone on Demons Ra who has minimum 1400, if not 16 and 1800 stagger. And then especially compounded with the fact that there is no stagger swagger, it just makes it that much harder. But Snake taken out there. And now we have a offensive power play coming through from Return to Form. The Hungry Boy looking low as well, but I don't think they have really some opportunity here to take him out there with how fast he's walking around. They kind of just have to go for these barriers and go for shots on net, but another KO into the back of the goal net. Take Leo Leon out once again.
So two-piece combo there from Snake and Kainoob to be able to take down Leo and buys them the space that they need. Hungry Boy looking confident, setting up the shots on the Estelle and pushes it through with the help of the Astral Projection. Goal credit goes over to Snake for that one. And one more goal. The Demons RAHH will get them their first win for Season 5.
And we were talking about unconventional comps on Taiko Temple with Sad Boys. This is a pretty unconventional pickup here as well for Demons RAHH, but piloting it to much success. The pillar coming in because of how long it lasted, it just did so much damage with the Manu onto Snake that the single hit knockback knocked him off the map from full stagger. Hungry Boy looking low, but has the stagger swagger to keep himself alive as long as he manages to stay on for another second. But Lilion finding him unstaggered with the slice and dice. Gets the KO. Gold gates are wide open. They have the power play here on Return to Form, even though they are down a barrier. Barrier open right back up. Flip coming out. A good barrage coming through. Anomaly not able to catch it. Snake getting the defense. Kind of doing a great job of just holding things down as we go in, looking for the Astral Projection here to score. You know Snake wants it. He wants one more point. He wants to get the KO, but it's not going to be this point.
All right, a good fight back there from Leo Leon and co. There were some really great plays from Demons RAHH there, though. That fadeaway piercing shot from Hungry Boy as he gets KO'd to be able to find the second barrier still ends up not being enough, and going to be trying to fight to hang on for the series. Our Return to Form. Demons RAHH trying to close things out right here. They may have fumbled it once, but they do get multiple tries here with how far ahead they are in the set. It's going to be Leo still trying to take things onto an aggressive stance. Both barriers already fallen down. Here comes a full-fledged offense from Demons RAHH. Kainoob eventually going to have to fall back here. Leo trying to sneak in a point with the slashing strike, and he's not letting up yet. There's the rush forward. There's the slice and dice, and Leo Leon closes out a second point. Supported by hook resets. We're going to point 5.
Not letting up and not even using the energy burst there, which means this set is going to be a really strong start for Centauro. If you can get maybe like a rush in, pop the energy burst, and then maybe get both barriers, is able to find one for his troubles. Second one coming in, but no, a good pop from Snake. Manages to use the energy burst in between both barriers there, gets both of them for both of his abilities, and now coming in, Leo Leon looking extremely low. Oni Blade pop has to get a little bit of stagger back from it. Gets the second barrier himself, even with no stagger available, but the Astral Projection coming in, securing it. Snake hits the Alt F4 plus Astral Projection combo, and that's a GG coming over. Demons RAHH gets their first win of NASL this season.
Beautiful stuff from Demons RAHH there. They take a 2-0 win over the newcomers in Return to Form, and they will move up to 1-1 on the season. A 1-1 area that's getting pretty crowded there with Sad Boys and Fluffy Bangers already in the exact same position. Return to Form drop down to 0 and 2, and they will need to look for the rest of the season to try to turn around their fate. A tough early schedule for them, though, for sure.
Yeah, playing honestly really well there. I think there were some, if I was to give any sort of feedback there, I think some of the awakening choices that they had selected weren't to my personal choice. Not sure whether that's correct or not, but some things to explore, or at least ask around in the community on why to select some things over the other ones. But even then, in terms of the play, everyone was looking pretty clean there. I liked hook resets on both the Juno and the Rune. Buffett Kawi looking good. Honestly, the Kazan looked pretty clean. The way he plays when he has size, he plays like a range carry, even while being a melee character. And then on top of that, Leo on both the Kazan and the Zentaro always looking clean. So I wouldn't take it too much to heart if you're losing the Demons RAHH. Even with one substitution in, it is still 66% Demons RAHH at its core, and they are not one to fall easily. So Return to Form still has the rest of the season to catch up to make it into that playoff contention there. And Demons RAHH looking to get back to the top where they normally belong or have previously belonged.
Absolutely here. Really, really nicely done by Demons RAHH. That's the form we expect to see out of the reigning champs as they move up to 1-1. Still plenty of Omega Strikers left to be played this season. We'll see how both of these squads continue to develop as the weeks go on. But that's going to do it for our section of the show here, Mystic. We're going to bring in
Yep.
2 more casters for the next block of games. So still plenty more NASL action left to come, everybody. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys back in just a few minutes.